Welcome to this video on highly sensitive human beings don't react well to criticism and conflict. I remember when I used to work at a screen print company as a sign designer, and I had to go down and have my work inspected by one of the directors. I loved the job at first. It was new and exciting. It was better than working on the print shop floor. I was 21 and it was my first responsible position. After a while, I noticed that I was being asked to make the most stupid changes to the most basic signs. This started to really grate on me, and I realised that he was not only doing this to me, but the other people working in the studio also. I started to feel really hard done by. Later in life, I encountered people like this who I actually worked for as a studio engineer. Instead of doing what they asked with the music, I would twiddle a few knobs on the desk, push a few faders up and down, and then turn to them and ask, "Is that any better?" And they always replied, "Yes, much better, thank you." I had changed nothing. Highly sensitive people are the most tender and gentlest people you would ever want to meet. But we get pushed hard when we feel unappreciated and criticised. We take the position of feeling hard done by. We are emotionally soft-hearted, which some people see as a pushover. What I have realised that when I deal with highly sensitive people, I need a softer approach. I like to be treated how I would expect to be treated. I don't mind now when people speak to me in a harsh manner if it is deserved, because we can all get carried away with the heat of the moment. But that only really happens on very rare occasions. I've also learned that raising your voice to highly sensitive people can really hurt them. When I was growing up, there was a lot of shouting in the house between my brothers. Sometimes this was directed at me. I used to run off into the garden and go and spend time with the animals we had there, like the guinea pigs, the dogs or the rabbit. I found just being with them on their level was so much easier for me because there was a communication and it was peaceful and co-respectful. There were no aggressive stances and loud voices. I felt happier there. And usually when my mother wanted to find me, she would come out and fetch me from the animals. Because of their nature, highly sensitive people tend to excel with everything they do, and they can pick up a hobby or a pastime very quickly and become very good at it because of their depth of feeling and focus. I found this out about me when I was very young. I used to love sport because I was good at it. I loved swimming also. I realised the kind of focus you needed to excel at anything. I saw this about me in the 10-pin bowling alley one day when I overheard my older brother speaking to his friends saying, "Watch Peter, he seems to be able to pick up things really quickly." It was my first time in the bowling alley. This obviously pricked my ego and I came 100% into trying rather than just doing. I was starting to use force rather than power, and I failed miserably for the first game. I then let the force go and started to let myself fall into the moment. I no longer cared about the result and just focused on the task at hand. That was to knock the pins down at the end of the alley, and suddenly my scores started to skyrocket and I was challenging my older brother's and his friend's score, and I had only just learnt the game. I was in that lovely dream state when I was playing and nothing really mattered. It was magical. This gave me a great understanding of how we work as highly sensitives. This helped me realise that when I was under the stress and pressure of performing to other people's expectations, I would crash and burn. When I came back into myself and just let the moment unfold with 100% focus on what I was doing without any worries, the magic started to happen. This was the same principle that I took into my music career. When I was nervous and stressed, I was a ploddy bass player, which is disastrous if you want to keep a good rhythm. When I was relaxed, I felt like I could do anything on the bass guitar. And some of the better shows I've performed in, people used to come up to me and say afterwards, "I've never seen someone play the bass like that before." Being 100% present without the stress and expectations on you will help you be the best version of yourself. Always remember that. Dealing with criticism and conflict is hard as a highly sensitive human being. We tend to shy away and go back into our shells. I used to be the opposite, which is the other extreme. I reacted so badly that no one would ever criticise or want conflict with me again because of my terrible behaviour. This was my protection mechanism. We all have slightly different ways of reacting to criticism and conflict, but we do feel hard done by when it happens to us. This need not happen when we are on top of our game. My way out of it was to be my own boss. Then the real truths start to dawn on you. You have to do everything to the best of your ability, and if it doesn't work, you have to try again. Highly sensitive people can lead towards perfectionism, and nothing is perfect except perfect imperfections. When you overwork something, you suck the life out of it. If you underwork something, it can appear not finished properly. Being highly sensitive, you do have the power to see if something is good or bad. For me, I leave it about 85% happy with, even less sometimes, because I know that is a fair standard. Otherwise, I work the life out of something I'm working on. If you'd like to go deeper into yourself and release the emotional childhood wounds you may be suffering from as a highly sensitive human being, then my course, The Dream Method, may be for you. I have a webinar where you can click the link below and see the free workshop. I give you the 5 steps to take, which are the 5 stepping stones of transformation. It is self-explanatory what to do at the end of the webinar if you want to go further with me. See you in the next video. Remember, be well and keep shining.